all the tests that I did to this mini PC. Today you will see how far I demanded. Enter and we begin. Digital greetings to all. In my previous video I thoroughly analyzed this compact mini PC from BlitzWolf, but some users criticized it a lot in the comments, even calling it garbage, and that because it had a Celeron processor, it was only good for making office documents. What you may not have understood. It is precisely that, for carrying a Celeron it costs less than $200. It is obvious, right? Or do you think that for that price it integrates a 12th generation Intel i9? Everything is evaluated in due proportion. This mini PC, of course, is not the best of all. But if the best cost benefit I found, and in the tests I did today, you'll see why. On the internet you will find many PCs from 250, 500 and even the most powerful with AMD Ryzen 9 or Intel i9 processors for around $800 or more. So, if you want more power, that power will cost you. Still, for that price you'll be surprised at what this mini PC was capable of. So before you underestimate her, watch this full video and then tell me in the comments what you think. Look at all the tests I did on him, how he performed, and the way he died. And remember to subscribe to my channel because some very good videos are coming. Let's go to the tests. I'll start with the loading times. If you turn off the mini PC with the power button, you're really just putting it to sleep. So when you turn it back on, it will only take 2-3 seconds to do so. But if you turn it off normally from Windows options and then turn it on again, this time from the start, that will take about 15 seconds to show you the main interface. I think 15 seconds is a pretty reasonable time, since there are considerably slower desktop PCs. The BlitzWolf mini PC has 2 holes to hang it on the wall. So for a better presentation in the room, we could leave it very close to the television with the help of 2 nails, and with that it would take up less space. Or if you wish, you can put it behind the television and it will go completely unnoticed and without visible cables. Regarding the Wi-Fi connection speed, this Intel wireless module gave me a reading very close to that of my contracted plan, which is 50 megabits per second. I did the measurement on a couple of web pages and on both I got a very stable measurement. But what I like the most is the reception strength. Since I am on the 2nd floor of my house and my router is on the 1st floor, I have all the Wi-Fi bars completely full, and that had not happened to me with any TV box nor with my desktop PC. So, in connection to the internet it is very good. To make it easier to use, I'm going to take this USB wired keyboard off of it and connect 2 devices to it. This Bluetooth mouse and this keyboard are also Bluetooth, but smaller, which has a tactile area, and the best thing is that it is very light. Linking them is super simple. We will only put the device in Bluetooth mode, and in the configuration we click on Add Bluetooth. Our mini PC will search for it quickly, we select it, and that's it. And here we see that it is already linked and working perfectly. For the keyboard, the procedure is the same, but when selected, it will ask you for a PIN, which you have to enter with its numeric keys, and with this it will quickly be linked. With these wireless accessories, the use of any mini PC is undoubtedly more practical. And with the invaluable help of my useful dog desk, which no one has, I will now be able to control it from a distance. Okay, if a keyboard is uncomfortable, well, how about this nice remote control, whose review is pending. It comes with this little wireless receiver, and in addition to being a remote control, it integrates a practical and functional mini QWERTY keyboard. You just have to connect your small wireless receiver in a USB port and it will connect easily, since it does not require any type of configuration. This control integrates 3 accelerometer sensors, and that makes it possible to use it as a practical magic remote. So just moving it in space will also move the pointer on the screen. Many users are used to this type of controls, since they come with their LG Smart TV. Although it's the first time I've used it, and I have to admit that it took me a bit to handle it skillfully. With this remote control you can select the content, pause it, increase the volume, use its mini keyboard in your preferred browser, or use it in other more productive applications. In short, it worked well for me in all of them, although the keys are small, but it's just a matter of adapting to it. Here I have a 512GB SSD disk, and this other more modern 1TB disk from the Team Group brand, both with USB Type-C port, and I will see how they behave with real measurements. These are the three disks of the mini PC, the integrated, the mechanical, and the SSD that I have to connect, and I will use this program to see the transfer speed in all of them. As you can see, the mechanical hard drive gave me a measurement of 112 megabits per second. The integrated C drive gave me about 200 megabits. The external SSD disk gave me about 400 megas of speed, much better. But the slightly more modern SSD from Team Group is giving me about 440 megabytes, thanks to its better technology. But since most understand these terms little, I'd better do a test with real times. I have this file that is exactly 10 gigabytes in size, which makes it a fairly large file. Transferring it from the SSD to the mechanical HDD, it took me 1 minute 33 seconds. While transferring it from SSD to onboard C drive, it took me about 50 seconds. And transfer it between both SSDs, it took me only 29 seconds. Considering the weight of this file, these are quite reasonable times. The playback quality is in 4 Kelvin resolution, and as you can see, it's pretty good. But here's my first criticism. When playing a 4 Kelvin video, it would lag and sometimes even cut up, as if the processor or the network had a hard time keeping up with the 4 Kelvin data stream, and it would show me broken frames. Initially, I thought it was my Wi-Fi network, but it's strange because I'm connected to my 5G network, and with other devices I don't have problems. That's why I connected my Ethernet network cable from my 50 Mbps plan to test. But nothing. The problem persisted. Investigating well, I found the culprit. If you look at system performance, CPU, RAM, and GPU, even though they're not maxed out, just move your mouse pointer inside the player box and see what happens to the GPU load. This is saturated at 100%, causing cuts and loss of frames. So it seems to me that this integrated GPU does its job, but it is limited to 4 Kelvin playback without you doing anything else in parallel, because it clutters easily. As long as you keep the mouse out of the video frame, the graphics load will be as low as 9%. But it is enough to touch the pointer, and that generates a high load spike on the GPU. Although for the cost of this mini PC, something like this was expected, and I hope that they will optimize it in a future system update. If you have the same mini PC, does the same thing happen to you in 4 Kelvin playback? Put it in the comments so people know. I'm going to install Office 2016 on this mini PC to see how it performs. And as you can see, here I already have all the Office products installed. These mini PCs are designed for these types of jobs, and that's why PowerPoint opens and works quite well. The same with Word, that works smoothly like on any desktop PC with all its normal features, and also with Excel as I show you here. I tested these applications for a long time, with several of my files to test their compatibility. While it is true, you can also use Office on TV boxes, Office apps for Android are not the same, since they do not have all the functions like in Windows, where it is already more intuitive to use them. I was able to install and open the typical Android TV interface on this mini PC, but honestly I tell you, the emulation of this system was pretty bad. What's more, I've tried it on other PCs and it's always very slow, or with some functions that don't work like Bluetooth or Wi-Fi. The video does not reproduce it in its best quality, and only with YouTube does it lag, or the virtual connection is constantly lost. Although the characteristics are those of an Android TV 10, I did not like its emulation at all. Although for me it doesn't make sense to install Android TV on a PC, because all the apps also have a version for Windows, and natively and not emulated as it would be when having them with Android TV. The great advantage of wanting to have Android on your PC is because it allows you to install APK files, and for that I recommend that you install BlueStack. BlueStack is a free Android emulator, lighter than Android TV, and which also allows you to install any APK. And here you will see how it runs on this mini PC. And if you are liking my content, my brother, subscribe to my channel so that you stay well informed with these simple explanations. You are already invited. You can download and install BlueStack from their website, and so you will have Android on your PC. And this mini PC also runs it. In the right column are all its functions, but first change your language in the settings. Here you will find the Play Store, where you can download applications like on any cell phone, registering with your Google account, of course. But the most versatile function is this Install APK, and it is as simple as searching for the APK file and opening it. As an example, I will install MagisTV, and in less than 5 seconds it is already installed. For those who do not have a TV box, you can also have MagisTV on your PC with BlueStack, which, as you already know, has a lot of content and also live television. By clicking on this icon, you can put it on full screen and enjoy this excellent service in a fluid way. And in the first comment on this video, you can have all the information. In the same way, you can install other APKs with BlueStack. Having Android on any PC is highly recommended. But will you be able to with a video editor? Well, if you install a very heavy editor, maybe not. That's why I will install the editor with which I edit all my tutorials, Filmora. I love this video editor because it is very light, very complete and cheap. For a single payment of $70, you get a lifetime license and thus there are no monthly payments like with other publishers. As you can see, it is already installed and opens very quickly. But the real test is to create and edit a video with this mini PC. For that I will load these files of Rick, and I will place them in the timeline. I will also put music here to give it a musical background, and finally I will add some effects to give life to this video. Now comes the hard work, export or render the video. Note that I am configuring the video in the best full HD quality at 60 FPS, and now I just click export. Actually, this process is the most demanding, and at least this mini PC is complying with it. Even not to take up space, you don't even need to download the editing files on the mini PC, because you can move them from a USB stick like I'm doing. Ready. Process finished in 9 minutes and 18 seconds, and as you can see, here on the desktop is the video created. Let's reproduce it, see how it turned out. The video has a watermark that says Wondershare Filmora, because this is a free plan. Once you pay for the license, this mark will disappear. Of course, editing on a bigger PC is better, but the idea is to show that this mini PC can also do it, and this is the proof. I love this editor, and soon I will make a video on how to use it well. For now, I will leave you its download link and plans in the video description. But I will make it even more difficult. I will see if this mini PC can with my Proteus design and simulation software. The design program that most electronic engineers like me use. And as you can see, it installed and opened normally. This program allows me to design and test circuits before I even build them. So I'm going to quickly put together a couple of ICs to design a classic sliding light kit. Here I will place a few LEDs. We make the connections between the chips. We align and connect the LEDs to see the effect. And at the touch I already have my circuit built. I will only give it a dark background to appreciate it better, and now comes the good part, circuit simulation, which is where this mini PC could fail. But not. There you have it, simulating in real time an electronic circuit in Proteus. I repeat, a desktop PC will obviously run it better, but for this mini PC to run it without crashing during the simulation is much more than I expected. And as a final test, let's see if it can handle the AutoCAD design software. Of course, it would be better to install it on a PC with more resources, but I want to demand this mini PC and see how it runs and how hot it is. I already have it installed, and it took about 15 seconds to open. Not bad. But as you can see, I already have it running and with all its functions. Honestly, I don't know how to use it very well, but here I have some CAD files to see how he moves them. This is the plane of a bearing, and the views move them quite nicely. Let's see with this other file, which has more designs. And as you can see, it also runs without lags or anything. Now I'll open a file for a restaurant, which is a bit more complicated. And there you have it, folks. You can move around well and check your plans with ease. And I even think you could design in 3D. Be careful, right now I have several AutoCAD files open at the same time. All Office programs and several open internet pages. And as you can see, the performance is not so bad, so much so that the temperature did not exceed 43 degrees Celsius. For one of the cheapest mini PCs, it's obviously not perfect. But for me it has more than fulfilled. This mini PC brings Windows 10 Pro in its official version. And that's why there is good news, because Windows 11 is already available for this mini PC, and I'm going to download it and try it. For those who doubted in my previous video about the updates, this process took me more than 1 hour and several reboots. But it was finally completed, and here I show you the new Windows 11 on this BlitzWolf mini PC. There is even a small introduction to this new version of the operating system. It will depend on you if you stay in 10 or upgrade to 11. These are some of the aesthetic changes that Windows 11 brings, and if we go to System, they will be able to verify that I really have Windows 11 Pro installed, with all its features. And the best thing is that despite the update, all my programs stayed installed where they were, and even the web pages stayed where I left them. Therefore, this mini PC is also upgradable, which will serve you for many years. Wow, what did you think? This mini PC did not die with all these tests as I thought. It is more I think that for its price and its hardware, it behaved very well. Of course, it has its cons, like the 4 Kelvin problem. Although I don't know if it is definitive, or it happens to me due to some bad configuration. So, if you have the same one, put your experience in the comments to help the community. But a compact device like this, with the latest official Windows 11, and which could also run heavy programs, for less than $200, I think it's perfect for a certain type of user, and that's why I leave the purchase links in the video description. But if what you are looking for is more power, wait until you see the mini PC that is coming to me, with an AMD Ryzen 9 processor, and with a whole series of technological advantages. You'll see when I get my hands on it. Thank you for faithfully following all my videos. If you made it this far, I clearly didn't bore you. I'll exchange this video for your like and your subscription. A fair price, right? Help me, and let's democratize technology. Until the next video.